would say is being in people's face all the time. The phone might a lot too. So being let's do multitask real good. He just did. What were we talking about?
Where were you running from? What was the real story?
We don't want to get into that. We'll say that to the end. As an artist, one of the toughest things I think is staying in front of people. Because believe it or not, I'm not a very social person. It's crazy, but I don't like to talk to people. So the fact that I have to be on Instagram and on Twitter and on all these different things just to connect to people and stay relevant, that's definitely a challenge for me. And then going out to networking events, and yeah, it's not. I'm comfortable on the stage. I'm like one of those type of artists. I'm not super social, so it's a challenge. But everything's a challenge. You got to sacrifice some things. You got to go out of your element sometime to become better.
Cool. So what are your favorite things to do when you're not doing music?
Do they really want to know that? No, man, I guess, you know what, something really silly. I love playing video games. The reason why I love doing that is because, I got a 6-year-old, so between the normal guy life and then the music and the events and all this stuff and, being somebody else, it's super dope to be able to just immerse yourself in something else and become somebody else and play a video game and completely lose yourself in it and become those characters in the role-playing games or whatever, and not worry about all the outside things that are going on. It's almost like the same reason a lot of people get high or whatever, because it just takes you away. So that's an escape for me. I like video games. I love food. I don't like to cook it, but I like to eat it. So keep that in mind, ladies, if you were looking for the real. Yeah, I love food. I don't really watch TV very much, so I'm not really into that. I don't know. Hopefully that answered the question.
All right, so what do you think differs you from other artists that are out now?
You know what? I think this video probably answers that question. With anything that I do, I try to have an element of surprise in it, an element of randomness, something abstract. I'm a Gemini. I'm all over the place. I can barely sit here to do this right now. I'm ready to move and do something. But I think all of those things put together, you never know what to expect from me. It may be a rock sounding song, on the music front. It may be some hard, like Wu-Tang sounding hip hop. It may be Garth Brooks, well, maybe not Garth Brooks, but you just never know. And I think that is the element of surprise, the shock value, all of that stuff are things that keep people relevant and keep people engaged for long periods of time rather than being predictable all the time. So I think that the element of surprise and fun and all of that are what differ me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. What about special talents? You got hidden talents?
Oh man, I wonder who asked that. Yeah, something crazy. You probably can't tell right now, but I can look into the sun and not squint. It doesn't bother my eyes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I think something's wrong with me, but yeah, that's a special talent. So hopefully that answered your question. Oh, I need to unlock it. Is there a code? Oh, you don't know my code? As long as I've known you, sir, you don't know my code? I'm like hurt by that. Here you go. I think you got a few more left. See those folks? Yeah.
So, is that water?
Quarter water. Anybody got any spinach?
All right, so back to it. What would you say your 1-year plan is for your business?
My 1-year plan for the Realysm brand, my 1-year plan is to create a tastemakers event that travels. You know how like people have the first annual gala, extravaganza, bonanza. I want to have something like that where it incorporates the stuff I like to drink, which at the moment is gin. I'm not going to say what type because the check ain't cut, but it's gin. I'm doing gin right now. But I like scotch as well. I love good cigars. I love exotic cars. I come from the car business, so I do love that. So just an event that combines all those elements. So when you come, you're going to get live performances from me, friends, other artists that I think he's in the gym. He's in the gym. Watch him. Yeah, that's fine. Are we back? We're back. Yeah, what was I talking about again? Gin.
1-year business plan.
1-year business plan. Yeah, to have a traveling tastemakers event where we do, you know, the Realism and Friends or Realism Experience, whatever, in Philly. Then we take it to Atlanta. Then we take it to wherever. And when you're coming there, you're just experiencing all the elements. It'll be nice cars parked out front. You can talk to people about the cars, engage them if you're into that sort of thing. It'll be cigar companies there. You can talk to them, engage, you know, the sponsors or whatever there. It'll be liquor sponsors there, and it'll be live performances there. So, like, you come in, you're paying for something that you're gonna have a memorable experience. That's what it's all about for me, is making a memorable experience for people so that they can be sort of like a video game for me, so that they can be taken away from whatever's going on in their life for however long it is that they're with me.
Nice, nice. So next question. What's your motivation?
Good one. Ah, man. You know, I'd say it's nature, just being out and about and living and experiencing is the motivator for all. I can't create unless I've experienced things. So I just love being out and seeing people and watching people do what they do, and that allows me to do what I do. You feel me?
Well, where can we see you next? What's going on next?
Next, we just absolutely killed, like, it was probably illegal manslaughter. It was great. At Silk City, we did our thing there, me and the band. So that was cool. Packed that out. Next, you know, a lot of opportunities have come from that. I think that we're going to go to the legendary Dobbs on South Street, if you're familiar with that. It's a nice venue, especially to rock out and go crazy. So we're putting something together there, and then there's some other things going on after that I don't want to talk about, as I don't know if they're going to happen yet. But next, you will see me at legendary Dobbs. I'm going to bet on that, and we will definitely have surprises in store and make it worth your while. And the more important thing is that it will be free. So Philly will come. I hope that answers that question. Who's that question from? Was that from Debbie from Dallas?
Debbie from down south of Dallas.
All right, word. How about you, Mr. Cameraman? Is there a question that you have? You got a random question you want to throw in there? I'll answer it.
Random question. This is right now the information age. This is the final frontier.
Scuba.
How do you see yourself evolving? What do you notice right now?
What are you speaking of? Like a general?
Just a general gist of your spirit.
My spirit. I think that it is amazing how we work every day to make sure that we get everything right away. So I wonder what's going to happen when everything is immediately and easily accessible. So I think that that's the age that we're coming to, and honestly, I don't know what that's going to be like, but I just wonder, you know, is it like the whole Rage Against the Machine, you know, where we're up against the computers that we created, or what? But I just can't imagine how things are going to be 10 years from now in terms of just the goal of trying to have everything right now. Everything has to be right now, or else I don't want it. Everything has to be easily accessible. So I don't know how it's going to affect. I mean, it already affected music, obviously, but just in terms of living life, I think it's going to put a lot of stress, continue to put a lot of stress on relationships. You know, just people-to-people relationships, because obviously everything is. I mean, you can have a whole nother life, and then have somebody else off of Instagram that you're dealing with. So I think the information age is going to drive a wedge and put a short, lessen, I guess, the longevity of human relationships. So that's my thought on that. And on that note, you can find me at
There you have it.
Realism, at Realism on Twitter. Just send me anything. I don't care. I like to chat with you on there. Instagram, I put up some random stuff here and there, so that's cool. Facebook, I'm on there, but you probably won't get a response on there. You can find me on Black Planet. On MySpace, my page is popping still. All that stuff, but really you can just Google it. You can find anything you want. I love how people hit you up and be like, "Oh, yo, what's the link to something, or where's your music at?" Yo, just Google it, man.
True.
Google it. Everything is right there. But yeah, I appreciate the interview. I appreciate the time. I had a rough day, but just made it a whole hell of a lot better.
All right.
So thank you for coming out, my brother.
Yeah. Do you hear those sirens coming up?
Everybody wanna watch what
We're back. Here's what we're gonna do today, folks. We're gonna take a little ride. I'm gonna take you to one of my favorite spots in Philly called, I'm not gonna tell you that yet, but just ride along with me. You also may notice that my vehicle changed. Yeah. That happens when you are in a sponsorship deal with a car dealership, and that doesn't happen for rappers. I don't know if you know anybody who does that, but I think I'm one of the first around to do that. So this vehicle is courtesy of I'm not going to tell you that either yet, but so there's two things that you got to hold on to. Well, anyway, we headed on location to like I said, one of my favorite spots in Philly, also the spot where Written and Read album release party will be, which is going to be one of the most memorable nights, I would say, in Philly. So you have to be there. Make sure you hit me up with your email, and you'll get the invite. All right, here we go.